Alright guys, good morning. Well, this morning in my country region, I just walked in, customer dropped off a Samsung tablet. It is a SM-T307U. The issue with the tablet is the charging port. Oh, so let me get this, because I started to strip it down before I decided to show the content. So this would be the back of the tablet. I kind of scribble the serial number on it. So this tablet will open not from the screen but from the sides. Pull the back cover out. Now, I don't know if you can see this clearly, but there's some sort of liquid which is sniff for the nose. It seems like oil or an oily substance. Alright. So the issue is that the charging port is green, it's colored. So I'm going to get my USB tool and then I'm going to shove it in here and let's see what are the pins or the damage on the charging port, and then I would kind of know what to do from there. So that's a lot of pins that are not working. Now because it's a C-type, we'll switch it over again. Well, at that point in time I don't need to do this. I'm going to put this thing off. So I would need to remove I need to remove all of these screws here and this screw here to get to the motherboard. Now in this case I do not have the complete, or not the motherboard, the charging board. In this case I do not have the complete charging board on hand, so I would need to, again sorry for the noise, customers just walked in. I would need to remove the speakers. Again, they are soaked in oil. Let me see if I can get a little bit of focus here. Okay, let me just get the phone in my hand, right? So the speakers are soaked in oil. So the person could have been maybe a street vendor. Probably the kid was using it and the kid would have sprayed oil onto it. So I remove the second speaker. There seems to be no contamination with this could be the backlight or the digitizer connection for the LCD. So I am now going to remove the, hi, how are you? I'm good. Yes, we do. Alright, so again, sorry, it's just that I am in the shop and people's coming out of the shop, so that's why. So I'm going to remove the two screws at the bottom, and this is the charging board here. Since I don't have the entire circuitry, I'm going to clean this up, make sure there's not a mic on it. Clean this up. I'm going to also clean here, put some isopropyl and a cotton swab, and then I'm going to start the process of taking out this port, search my inventory, make sure I have this exact port, and I'll put it back. So let me just pause the video for a minute while I start looking for that port. Alright, so this is my stash here, and I'm feeling that the last time I did one get this port, I will need this. Yeah, this should be it. The closest port I have in stock for this. Now I can always just throw in the model number of the tablet on eBay, Google the single port, and see what pops up. But again, I'm shooting this video with my phone in my hand. What did I do with that board? Oh, here is the board. So this looks to be the closest thing I have. So I'm going to inspect this, make sure that there are no microphones on the board. So I'm going to get this soaked in isopropyl, clean it out, and then I'm going to replace the port. So this will be the new replacement port I'm putting in. This is the old one. At the same time, I'm going to just clean up I'm going to try and clean the majority of the oil residue. Seems that most likely the side or the lower half of the device would have taken a plunge into whatever oily substance this is. I'm going to also try and clean the speakers, but I do not want to do anything too extreme because I don't want to be liable for damaging the customer speakers. Although the tablet, when it came here, it didn't have no power, it wasn't on, so I cannot sweat to the condition of the speakers. So let me get some stuff organized, and I'll be back once I clean the motherboard out, and I'm gonna start removing the charging port. Okay, so I do have the motherboard set up on this here. I'm gonna heat. The plan is to heat this port, take it out, replace it. I'm using 350 degrees temperature at airflow. Let me get it to number 4. I'm going to use some flux. Push flux. There we go. Alright. So then I'm going to heat this up. I'm putting too much of flux. So I'm going to keep the heat focused on the charging ports. And I'm going to remove the connector. So let me remove the connector. Okay, this is the connector removed. The damaged connector. Let me just take a zoom in and see what it is. Okay, let me take the flash out. Okay, match it up against the one that I have in storage. Let's take a look at the board. Okay, so I'm gonna spend a little time with my solder iron and some solder removing wick and some low temp, low melt solder to clean this gunk off, clean all the ports, get some cotton swabs and some isopropyl alcohol, clean that area up, and then I'll be back to show you me fitting in the port. And for this port I will just put low melt flux in each of the holes here, keep it well flux, and then heat this using the hot air gun and gently press it in place. And that is how I'm going to replace this port back in here.
There is something on it?
Yeah, from the port I just take out. Yeah. So that is what I'm going to do. So I'll be back, and let me just start cleaning this up, and I'll show you guys the process when it's done and then when I'm putting in the port. Okay, so this is the motherboard with steady supply isopropyl alcohol, and I use a cotton swab, and I'm going to just gently brush. Now during the process of cleaning this, I did realize that I lost that 3 connectors were damaged. They were sort of burnt out. That's with me, these guys here. It should not be much of a problem when it comes to getting the device to charge, because what they did is that they protected the port in this, maybe a solder mask. That'll be this substance here, was used to protect the port. So this is just me using flux and solder to kind of clean up all the corrosion and get it going. So as you can see, I'm missing 3. Now I can investigate and see what they are and run jumper wires on them, use solder mask to put them back in the original position. But again, it's just since this tablet was submerged in oil, I communicated that to the customer, and they just wanted to know if I can get a charger for them so they can retrieve the information on the tablet. But I did indicate that they may need to replace the speakers. Okay, so this is the cleanup process, and these are what I'm missing. These could be ground, or they could be something else. VCC1, VCC2, I'm not sure, but I'm banking on that the connections on this end is also good. So they will just work itself out. So this is the replacement port I'm putting in here. But first I want to clean out all the holes, all of the holes here, clean this thing up nice, apply some low melt solder. Use this solder paste, and this is lead free. And then I'm going to fit the port in place, use some of the solder somewhere in here. Right, use this to hold the pins down, and then let me just secure it. Let me see how this looks. I haven't used, I very rarely need to use my microscope. This isn't bad. I mean, in combination with the phone and this. Right. So anyway, I don't want to make the video this long, and I try my best not to cut and edit these videos. So if I make a mistake is shown. If I don't, proper execution of the mental plan that I have in my head. So let me go get solder wick, clean my iron while I have the wick here. Right? So I'll use this flux and my solder and iron, and I use this. Right, I set it to about 350, 345, 350, and I'm going to go clean up this area here, flux it again, and I'm going to go clean this up, and then I'll show you guys the end results after that. Okay, and this is after proper cleaning. Couple more is missing. Not much I could do about that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to flux solder piece, low temps or low melt solder piece here, and then I'm going to do these, flip the board over, and solder the ports in, and then I'll just heat the whole thing in place. Okay, so what I did to this, I introduced some solder paste on the, just put solder on the tips, and I just want to show you this again. Right, so what I'm going to fit this in its place right here. Okay, and then I'm going to solder the ends here, make sure that they're soldering properly before I do the final. Sorry, I need to learn to focus the camera. So I'm going to solder them here, and make sure that they solder properly in place, the anchors, and then I'm going to heat the whole thing down in its place, and then I'm going to just go to the testing process. So I need to stabilize this end, make sure it goes down better. So I'll be back again to show you. Okay, so this is the anchors down properly. I'll show you the back. So the next step is now to, I'm going to take the tweezer, apply a gentle amount of pressure here, and I am going to just heat in a circular motion to get the solder to melt with the flux to connect these pins that I'm in place. Okay, and this is the finished product. I had it cooling down for a minute. Now I'm going to strengthen these areas here, but first thing I want to do is probably test this, make sure that it works on the tablet. There we go. The cable, USB, so I guess this would be the sub cable connected. This would be the main. Reset the battery, and I'm going to stick a cable in here. Let me see what it says. Okay, there we go. So that's it. Now I know other persons may use other options or other ways, methods of changing the physical charging port, but that is basically what I would do to resolve this problem. I say the person may not, they just want to get the data out, but the port should be fully functional in the future for usage. I would clean out the damaged areas, clean this up with some isopropyl, clean the speakers out, and put this back together. So thanks for watching. I hope this helps you some way. And remember, there's always an option to replace this entire board, but if you don't have it, you can always replace it. And this charges at 1.5 amps, so the battery is just dead. So I'll leave this for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then I'll get back to it, see how it's looking, and then assemble it back and reach out to the customer and let them come pick it up.